Hello, and welcome back to this third part of the skill review in chapter 6. So we're beginning here with step 12. So step 12 says use the dcount database function to calculate the number of items in stock, where the item description includes the word football and the selling price is less than 20. Use the wildcard characters asterisk before and after the word football. To find all the item descriptions with football anywhere in the text, use the column label stock as the field argument. Remember to enclose the column label in quotation marks. Okay. So what they're wanting here is the number of football items in stock sold for less than $20. So in cell D11, we want to have this information again. So you type in item description, type in football. In E11, we're going to put in selling price. And in E12, we want to be less than 20. All right, so we're using this field name here. So it has to have football in the description, and then we want that selling price. And since we're using dcount, it's going to use this database process in order to count how many items match. So this is an and condition, so they're on the same line, so it has to be football and less than 20. Doesn't say equal to 20, it says less than 20. So now we're ready to put in our function. So in B12, we are going to type that function, but it wants us to use the insert. So we're going to insert functions. We got database. If it isn't there, you'll need to change that. We'll go to dcount. We'll click OK. The database again is going to be our range name inventory DB. And again, that's just this area. So instead of us having to type that in each time, we just type in the range name and see how the range name came up here, and also inserted it twice here. So I'll get rid of that one. Just wanted you to make sure you knew what inventory DB was. Field names and all the data underneath all the field names. The particular field argument, the field, what is it that we want to count? Remember, we're doing a count, not a sum. So the field name is that we want to use. So I could select that or just do exactly like the book says, type in stock here. All right, so that's the column that we're going to count if there's a match. And the match then, if we click on the criteria argument, the match is going to be this criteria, and it's going to be D11 to E12. So that's an AND operation. So we click OK. So if we change this, let's say we wanted it had to be football and equal to 20, we'd see how many there are of those. So if it's greater than or equal to 20, we could see how many of those we've got. only 5. Change this back to what we want. So hopefully you see how the database functions work. So the database functions, you have to have the name, the actual database including field names you want to look in, the field name that you're going to do this particular function on, so that column in the database, and then your criteria range. The criteria range includes the field name and something underneath it, a match or whatever you're looking for in that particular column in your database. All right, on to step 13. Step 13 now uses 2 other functions called match and index. We want to use those to look up the item description, quantity in stock, and selling price of an item based on an inventory number. So if I know this inventory number, what's this other information? Now, inventory number is the second column in our database. Since that's the case, we can't use VLOOKUP. Normally that's what everybody's been trained to use first, is either a VLOOKUP or a horizontal lookup. That only works when the data you're looking for is either in the first column or the first row, and then you find which column you want to pull the matching information from. If that's not the case, then what you're going to have to do is use the match and index functions in order to figure out where you're at in your database, and then you can say which column from there do you want to pull the matching information. I hope I've explained that well enough, but we'll see how it works here. All right, so in step 13, the first thing we need to do is we need to first use match to find the row position for the item listed in B15. So what we want to do is find what row is this particular inventory number on. So we're looking in this column to find that particular match. All right, so we want to click in B16. On the Formulas tab, we're going to do the lookup and reference, and we're going to go to match. So the lookup value that we're going to look up is going to be, notice that my cell pointer is here, or insertion point is that, but I want to make it absolute, so I'm going to hit F4. And then we're going to tab, which gets us to the lookup array. And we're going to click on the inventory sheet tab and click and drag to select B3 through B25. B3 through B25. Since we do not base anything on field names here, we don't need to include them. Then we need to type in the match type. So the match type is a number of 1, 0, or -1 indicating which value to return. So we'll type in 0, and 0 is an exact match. Now we can get more help with this function by clicking here, and we can go ahead and watch it, and it may help you as well. So if we scroll down here and we see a match type of 0 finds the first value in that column that is exactly equal to our lookup value. A -1 finds the smallest value that is greater than or equal to the lookup value. And then 1 finds the largest value that is less than or equal to the lookup value. So for us, 0 is the exact match. I'm going to get out of here. We're going to click OK. So that 9 match this value in this column out of the inventory worksheet. Tells us this is row 9. Okay. Now, step 14 says now add the index function around the match function to find the item description column 1. For the row position identified by the match function, use the name range inventory as the array argument. So remember, we're going to now put another function out here. So the inside function returns a value to the outside function. Our outside function is going to be index open parentheses. So the index open parentheses works like this: array, row number, and optional column number. So the first thing we have to do is put in the array. The array, in our case, is going to be inventory. And notice here, these are telling us range names. So I'm going to double click that. That's going to be inventory. Now I need a comma to separate that out. The second argument is row number. That's where this is going to be. It's going to be 9. Then we need to put in an optional column number. And our column number is going to be 1. I'll explain more here in a second. So we'll look at our sheet, and that looks correct. So I'm going to put enter here. Okay. So if we come over here and we highlight this area, that's the area that they've named inventory. So inventory is our database without the field names. What we've just done is we said, give me an index of a row and a column. So an intersection of row and column from where? From the array or database called inventory. So the row we said is going to be equal to this one, row 9. Now we said, now what do you want out? What's the matching? We had to put in a column, and the column was 1. So what I want the return to be is row 9, column 1, intersection, which is flash football. And that's what we got here. So let me go back here. And let's look at the analysis. FO-1002 FO-102. So that, because this area was our inventory or our array, we don't count the first two, so this is row 9, this is column 1, and so that's what it should have returned. And that's what we got here. Okay? Alright, when we come back, I will finish this up, so that'll be part 4.